This meeting is being recorded. That's what it says when I hit the button and it starts recording. Today, we've got no Title Town. I think Rubio's going to let us know what he's doing. He might be out having snacks with his grandpa for all we know. RubioDimes is here. And then the debut of Glockoma. Yes, Glockoma. Congratulations. You're on the team now. And there is nothing I like more than a man who names himself after an eye disorder. How are you, Glockoma?
I'm doing good, Holden. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people like my name. I just want to clarify that it was from a Lil Wayne song.
Okay.
Yeah. He says,
well, I'm old, and basically when you get old, you know people with glaucoma.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
you
yeah.
spelled it differently. I did think that you were paying homage to the eye disorder. So, but we cleared that up now.
It's from a Lil Wayne song. He says, "Hit him with a Glock. What that boy got? Glaucoma." There you go.
You sound like a real gangster there. That's good to hear. RubioDimes, wonderful to see you. I know you. It seems like you're in the 3-hole. You're not. There are no holes in the show. So what's going on in your life? What's going on with this one chip challenge? You're supposed to be eating this. I get a message from you in Discord. Something else is going on. Somebody's joining us. What the hell is happening here? What are you eating, by the way? You don't eat during a show. What are you eating? You're on mute too, you ding dong. Glaucoma, you could be the worst guest host today and still be better than what Rubio just did. He's eating and he's on mute. And honestly,
and
he's
still on mute.
His fucking mic isn't working. This happens all the time, Glaucoma. So if you have any more rap lyrics that you can throw out there until Rubio fixes this, I think that would be wonderful.
Is it good now?
There we go.
I wasn't on mute or anything. That's why I was shocked. It hasn't done that since I got the Mac repaired. It hasn't done that.
No, it hasn't. Talk to me. What's the latest on the chip challenge, the one chip challenge?
So ironically enough, my brother just sends me a picture of the one chip. He's like, "I'm going to do this." And I'm like, holy shit. Because I know he doesn't listen to anything I do. And I looked at it and he's like, "Hey, I'm going to do this." I was like, holy shit, so am I. And so he's notorious. He grows Carolina Reaper or whatever the fuck it's called. He eats blazing wings for a snack. And sure enough, I'm saying, hey, why don't we have a contest? Whoever doesn't even drink or eat anything for the longest period of time wins. And you know what this motherfucker said? He said, I can go 30 minutes after eating that chip without touching something.
Yeah, that's not happening.
That ain't happening. It ain't happening. I know he's a hot food fanatic, but ain't happening. He said, I'm going to cry. I don't think he lasts more than 30 seconds, though.
No, you won't cry. I didn't cry. You won't cry.
How long ago did you eat that chip, Holden? I feel like it was a long time ago, right? How long ago did you eat that chip?
Probably around this time last year, wasn't it, Rubio? Around this time last year. And, it was
Super Bowl.
That was a great show.
Oh, it was the Super Bowl? It was that long? Wow. Well, I would say that, listen, you got to come prepared if you want to limit the pain. I just think Rubio's trying to be a total man and just eat the chip, I'm looking forward to it, Rubio. So when is the tentative date of this chip eating, and what's the relationship to you, this other individual?
He's my brother. And the tentative date, we're going to say next Wednesday, but it could be fluctuated around. It could be, maybe it's on this pod. Maybe it's a lead up to an NBA lock or something just to see me suffer. We're going to find out a little more later, but I just know one thing for sure. I'm not going to be working the next day.
Yeah, you will. You'll be fine. Just take some Pepto or Imodium. Take some Imodium, like I did.
Imodium. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Be fine. Keep that spice in your intestines so it just rips it apart.
Rubio, do you eat a lot of spicy foods? Sorry, hold on.
What's that?
Do you eat a lot of spicy foods?
I'm to the point now where the spicy chicken sandwich is not hot to me at Chick-fil-A. But
That's it?
Hey, I said it's not spicy anymore. But my level of heat is probably mango habanero. I can eat it just fine at B-Dubs, but I'm not gonna be so satisfied by it.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's pretty spicy, so you can handle that.
Don't give me more credit than I deserve. I still think that's weak on the totem pole.
Yeah, should be interesting for sure then. Yeah.
I just got a note from Susie. She's gonna try to come on today. If she doesn't, she'll come on next Wednesday. So
Perfect.
That's good. I still don't know what's going on with Titletown, what his deal is.
He's on a picnic. That's what I heard.
I don't even think that.
I mean, he was cheering on Giannis last night in the chat, so he can't be too busy, right?
Moving to Austin, Texas, or something like that.
Oh, is that what he's doing? He's leaving right now?
Yeah.
Finally, he's been talking about moving for like since I've known him. He finally is getting off his ass. He's going to Austin, Texas. Have you ever? What was the movie where it was Boston instead of Austin? It was with Tom Green. God, it was a good movie. Road Trip. You haven't seen Road Trip, have you? Either one of you?
Doesn't ring a bell. I may have.
Guys,
but
you're gonna love it. Please, I'm not even gonna make fun of you for this. You guys need to watch the movie Road Trip. It's wonderful. It's a tale of a coming of age, sex, stupidity, drugs, and road trips. So I highly recommend it. That sounds good. There was something else I needed to bring up too, but I just don't. Oh, did I ask you if you want to hear about my sex life, or do you want to just get into other stuff?
Sex life for sure.
Okay. So I managed a way to Glockoma. It's, it has to be unanimous here. Do you want to hear about this or just move on? I don't know.
No, yeah. It's not like you don't talk about it every day. So
yeah, why not? So I set up I actually like one girl. We're down to the point now to where I like one girl right now. And I said, hey, do you want to go to Top Golf? Because I don't want her to think that I'm just using her for sex, right? We don't like that. We want them to be under the impression that we like them. And I actually do like her, but I managed to get out of having to go to Top Golf and get right to the bang bang session. I am just so proud of myself. I said some mushy stuff and it's going on tonight. That's wonderful. The other thing, where do you buy rope?
Can't say I've bought it before. Maybe
that's
Home
a
Depot
local.
or something.
It's a local store near you. You just gotta look it up. Like I don't know if the same brands or the same chain stores.
Yeah, I wasn't a Target. I don't have Ace Hardware around me. She's definitely into getting bound, so that's good. I'm looking forward to it.
It's an Amazon item right there.
So I bought a beginner's bondage kit for her yesterday.
There's a beginner.
Well, I mean, you don't want to like sit there and put her on a wheel and spin her around and shit. That's, that's a little messed up. That's like easily you got to be together for at least 6 months. Rubio.
I'm glad you set those rules. I'm glad you set those rules.
I do set
very respectful man.
Glaucoma, what is your current status of a relationship or just getting a nut? Are you married?
Yeah, I am married.
Oh, so you don't do that very
28 and married. Yeah.
You're 28 and married? Why'd you do that?
Well, I've been with my current wife since high school. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of like a long
in,
time.
Yeah, so you're definitely going to need the bondage kit here sooner than later. Because, after about 10 years with this, really after about 5 to 7 years with the same person, you're going to need to spice it up. But thanks, guys, for listening to whatever I just said to you. It's always nice that Rubio is still an immature little baby. And he blushes when I talk about these types of things. So that's
good. I don't
good.
blush. I just get excited. I get excited for you, Holden. I'm like, wow, you finally landed something last night. You skipped out on a really fun Top Golf night, but hey, you secured the bag. I don't blame you.
Well, what would you rather do?
I mean, if I already paid for the Top Golf,
I haven't paid for it.
You didn't pay for it? Okay, you're good. You're good. If I would have paid for it, I'm getting my Top Golf fun. That's just that said.
Now, RPS NBA 15% off the lifetime of your subscription here to Run Pure. And it is NBA season. Now, for me, it's 99.9% NFL. I will do the Up to Lock show with JSU. Sometimes Tony will be on it. Sometimes other guys will be on it. But I will, I'm doing my research in the NBA. But honestly, like all that's on my mind still is the NFL. And we're already coming up to week 7, which – we always say this. It's like, oh my God, half the season. We're going to be in week 11 soon. We're like, there's only 7 weeks left. It's going to be awful. But you guys are definitely full swing in the NBA. I'm going to put a couple lineups in tonight. We're very profitable here. There's no question. I would say we have the best NBA team in the world in DFS. And Rubio, you're shaking your head. Glaucoma, you're shaking your head. But Rubio, let's talk a little NBA before we get into the NFL. Okay, we got the slate coming up tonight. Let's not talk about tonight's slate, though. What is it about the NBA that just draws you to playing at DFS? Because for me at this point, A, it's my job, but B, it was very profitable in the first season I ever grinded it.
Well, it's a lot of fun when you're cashing. It's that simple as you look at the slate tonight, the ease of content and everything. It just draws me in because every night I can just pull up. I can get a nice glass of wine or a nice beer from the fridge or even a Red Bull if I'm feeling like I'm going to stay up till 5 a.m. And I can just sit down make 20 builds like I am tonight, and just relax, watch, or get tilted. Depends on the night, really. But I just sit there, can track everything. I rarely watch a game. I'll watch Netflix, but I'll do the play-by-play for most games. Something about me, unless it's the Pacers, I rarely like to watch my players play because of how much tilt I could go through. Watching the play-by-play on the NBA screen, though, I don't know what it is. It does it. Only on the NBA site. ESPN, nah. DraftKings, nah. It has to be on the NBA site for me to enjoy it.
So you're kind of like Mangone, where you just look at the game cast.
Yeah. Well, I love how
I kind of do that too, because it's like sometimes the streams you find are delayed too. And then the NBA.com or whatever, or ESPN Gamecast is like ahead. So it's like annoying. Like you're already going to know what happens before you see it on the screen. So that's one complaint I have about like streaming services nowadays. Like they're behind, and it just bugs the heck out of you.
Can't do it. I'm a live bettor. I do live betting. Well, I was doing live betting shows. Then I took this job at Visa, but I'm a live bettor. I love betting during the games, and I had to get cable again. So, cable. Well, guess what? When you're a live bettor and I'm getting this feed 30 seconds before you are, it's giving me a better chance to win. What are you pumped up about there, Rubio? What happened? Are you
literally in the span of 15 seconds? I got a dime and a goal for fantasy soccer. So, it helps out immensely.
That'll bump you up.
To our listeners for that, for anyone bringing up soccer on this pod. It is unacceptable.
I'm sorry. You asked why I was pumped. You shouldn't have asked. You know it's 4:30 on a Champions League night.
Flog Rubio if I ever meet him in person, just for something. Actually, I hope his tongue burns off. And you do take Imodium and it eats your innards alive. That would be nice. Glock, you're a big NBA guy too. Why don't you give us a little background into your NBA? Because I want people to get to know Philip. It's my dad's name. Do we call you Phil? Philip? What is it?
Whatever you want to call me. I get Philly, Phil,
Felipe,
Philip. Whatever
right,
y'all want to call me, I'm good with.
Don't give him that freedom, Glock.
Yeah, don't do it, Glock.
It's whatever. I don't have any preferences. I'm an easygoing guy.
So NBA, what are you doing with us this year, and what do you got on tap?
Yeah, so I'll be doing right now. I'm scheduled for like 2 playbooks a week, and then I think 2 cores. But I'll always be dropping my cores in the Discord for sure every night, even though I'm not on the site. Other than that, I'll be pretty active in Discord for any questions. And basically, I'm just here to help out. And, with all the NBA news and whatnot, it gets kind of tough for everyone to manage. And, the more hands we have, the better. And even last night, the opening night of the NBA was like a crazy reminder how hectic NBA is compared to all the other sports, because no one, it was only a 2-game slate, and no one was really expecting Claxton to start. And then 10 minutes, 15 minutes or something before the game, he gets ruled a starter. And then, everyone's scrambling should we play Claxton? Should we play Claxton? Should we not? What should we do with Claxton? Are you guys changing your cores? And, stuff like that. And that was only a 2-game slate. And tonight's an 11-game slate. So you can only imagine the craziness that's about to begin. So
is this are you a DFS grinder all the time, or do you have a real job?
I have a real job Monday through Friday. I'm like a technical account manager at a software supply chain company.
Okay.
So that's like the boring side of me. But when I'm, ever since we started working from home, that's kind of when I started taking DFS seriously, because I had more time. I didn't have to drive into the office and whatnot. During that time, one of the first sites I joined was RPS, and, I just kept getting better and better, I guess, and then learning more and more. And then, I'm here now. So.
That's great, man. It's terrific. I will not ask you any sex questions. As a new person, you have to get used to that. You need to get broken in. Only Rubio gets that on the show. So
that's cool with me, because my wife will probably watch these shows.
Oh, will she?
Yeah.
Wow, you have that supportive of a girl?
Oh, now she already knows that one of the guys is into bondage. Wonderful. Hi, Miss Glockoma. Listen, you haven't been married that long, so just it's in the future. So I'm looking at the chat here, and Draft Cheat is in there, and what's interesting? This is actually kind of a serious conversation. I'm not even kidding here. I've always been, I don't want to say always, but I'd say the last 5-6 years, I don't like using the term ownership. It happens all the time, but these are players. And I know it's so lame. It does you're so soft. There's few things that I get it. I always felt uncomfortable saying ownership. Somebody said ownership. Draft 2 was like, well, it's rostership. I don't know about rostership, Rubio, but I'm going to be honest, man. You talk about players being owned.
Are you being serious right now, Holden, or is this that bit off Twitter?
I'm not kidding you.
There was that bit off Twitter, so I don't know. Are you being
There was a bit on Twitter?
That's what DC's referring to, is the Twitter bit.
Oh, was it a joke? Because I'm actually serious.
No, it wasn't a joke. The person that tweeted it was serious.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm serious. Like I am too. I'm not going to sit here and tell you can't say it. I'm not some type of ding dong like that. And obviously, then Draft Cheat was actually kidding. Then, right? He wasn't saying that
for sure.
DC's for sure. Yeah, he's probably had a few.
Actually used to be owned by other people in this country. It's disgusting. And then it's like I started talking about it, and I'm going, it's kind of uncomfortable. I'll just say, and I still slip up and I say the guy is owned, but I think rostered is a better way to do it. And I can see if Tony listens to this, he's in the fetal position right now, going, what a pussy. But you know how I am. Most things, I don't give a shit. That's one thing that kind of doesn't tilt me that much. I don't care if you use it. I just try not to use it, Rubio.
I hear you. I mean, like, there's certain things where when the world just keeps on going on and on, it's like, you just avoid using the word. Like, I think the biggest thing for me when we're talking about football is whenever referring to Washington, that's always been like a trip up. How many years of my life has been, how many years of my life has been that? And I will never, never, because I definitely will trip up. But like, I make the effort to say football team almost all the time. And like, it's something that like, it can't be forced, but I get why people say it. But at the same time, it's not a big deal if someone says it. No one should ever look down upon anyone who says it, especially if it's a common word. But it's like also where like, like I said, if you're going to be a dick about someone saying it, you're just doing it wrong. And if you're going to be like, hey, like, just so you know, that's what I prefer. I mean, not to get like too much into my day-to-day life, but I prefer to be like, hey, I'd appreciate this rather than, hey, say this because it pissed me off. Like, I don't know. That's just me though.
No, but I mean, people have called me cunt, and I don't tell them to call me anything differently. Just keep going with what you're doing. It's just the ownership. It has. I'm not here on a crusade to tell you to stop using it. I'm just saying, it's a little uncomfortable for me. Glock, you got any thoughts on this?
No. Yeah, I mean, I guess. Did you find Redskins offensive as well? I guess.
The interesting thing is I was a sports talk show host in DC for almost 13 years. And we had this debate like every single year. And honestly, I didn't give a shit because we have so many people that were just like, we don't care. We're Native Americans. We don't even care. Then you get like 10% that do care. Then you get all the uber left progressive bitches that sit there and say, you can't say Redskins, you should go to jail. No, but you know what? It's probably the right move at that point. It's probably the right move. Enough people are upset about it. I don't say it, but that was one where I was kind of agnostic about it, Clock. I was like, all right, someday it's probably going to change. More than anything, I just want Dan Snyder to be gone. He's the worst owner in history. He's just a horrible person. If he was a female, I'd call him a succubus. But he's just a piece of garbage, and that organization's been a disaster. But anyways, keep going wherever you were. I didn't know this was going to take this left turn, but I had to bring it up.
No, yeah. I mean, if I'm the type of person, like, if you think it's offensive, then, I won't say it to you, but, I'm not going to like outrage over, words in the dictionary. So, yeah.
All right. So that's just a little thing. The second thing that I think is interesting now is that Deshaun Watson rumored to go to the Dolphins again within the next week or so. This is fascinating to me because Deshaun Watson, he's just sitting there doing nothing. If you're the Dolphins, at some point in time, you just got to pull the trigger and get rid of the guy. You're not going to get 2 or 3 first-round picks for this dude. Maybe you do get 2. Maybe you got to give up Tua. But at this point, if I was the Dolphins, I would not make this move. I don't understand it. The man is under investigation, multiple accounts of sexual assault. I get it. The Dolphins are frustrated with Tua. He makes poor decisions. There's a lot of issues with him. I think he needs time to grow still. I'm not ready to give up on him, but he's not ready. He's not an NFL starting quarterback is what I will say. So you make this, either one of you. How about Glock? We'll go to you first. You make this move if you are the Dolphins to try and win now, because I don't think the NFL is going to suspend him since they didn't already with the Texans. They just let him worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, that was the first question I was going to ask. Are they even, if he gets traded, because he's been rumored with Miami for a while now. I even drafted a good bit of him in best ball, just like as my third QB, just in case, he does get traded or gets to play. But yeah, I mean, I guess the big question is if he's actually going to be able to play if he gets traded, and if he is, then yeah, I would do the trade if he's able to play. But if not, then I just don't see a point in it.
What if you
Personally.
don't know if he's going to be eligible to play or not? And the NFL won't give you an answer because you can't email him.
Yeah, I don't know. That's like the tough question, right? I mean, personally, I haven't watched too much of Miami, so I don't know like what's like, what their problem is, how Tua actually plays. But if they, I guess my assumption, if they're really unhappy with him, then yeah, I would pull the trigger because despite Deshaun Watson's troubles and talent is everything in the NFL, he'll still be able to play, I think, despite the issues that he's running into, I think personally. So yeah.
And then let's see here. Cody Davis, in regards to the Texans closing in on a deal that would send Watson to Miami, could be a 3-team deal that would send Tua to the Washington football team, which would be the ultimate Washington football team move. Just, get another quarterback in there that is probably 2 years away from being a competent NFL quarterback. Rubio, your take on Deshaun Watson?
I mean, you know how I feel about Tua. I think it's he never was the guy, and it's kind of solidifying itself now. The thing with Deshaun, though, the Dolphins are as close to a win now stage as they've been in quite some time. I mean, you don't blame them for taking the risk. Deshaun has all the talent in the world, and we're able to look past a lot of issues for a lot of players. And that's not to say what Deshaun did is right or wrong. It's definitely wrong.
Well, I don't think it's right.
Yeah,
I don't think
it's definitely wrong.
But that being said, listen, and I've known this for a while. Just because a woman says something doesn't mean it's right. I think men do not get the benefit of the doubt there. But then, like 20 of them,
yeah, exactly.
During massages,
we can definitely say that Deshaun's probably not a great guy, or isn't a good guy. But at the same time, it's football. These teams are paid these teams operate on a win now basis, and you can never blame an organization for taking a risk. And that's what it is. We've Aaron Hernandez played on an NFL team too, and it's like. It's not great, but at the same time, you understand from the Dolphins' perspective why they're.
I'm not sure how good Miami would be for Deshaun.
Yeah. Oh God.
Football aside, yeah.
He probably learned his lesson though, and he's going to pay for a massage with a happy ending at this point. And I'm not even joking. Like if you're Deshaun Watson and you're into that, just bring a woman over and pay her. Bring 5 over. Robert Kraft got away with it. He can too. No big deal. Just order some girls, dude. You're in the NFL. You don't need to try to do that to women that are not willing. Just pay a couple of girls or go to a game and say, hey, here I am. Anybody want to come over and give me a handgy? So that's really all that we need. Deshaun Watson just needs some life advice. And by the way, if the Dolphins do trade for him, better watch out because you might not get anything for him. You might be getting giving up picks and then getting nothing in return. And then where does that leave your organization? I know they got a lot of first-round picks.
You would think, right? But at the same time, I think the Dolphins would be like, hey, is this going to happen? Or what's going to happen with Deshaun if we get him? I feel like they would have an inside track on what's going to go down if they end up doing the trade. I feel like it would be unwise to do something without knowing a little bit of intel, right?
It would be unwise for Washington to give up any type of pick for Tua unless it was like a 4th or 5th or 6th rounder. So teams do stupid things all the time, Rubio. We see that. And it's usually the same teams. It's usually the same teams like the Dolphins, like the Washington football team. We can go on and on and on with all these bad organizations because they're just bad. And it's sad. I'm in Denver now, one of the most prestigious organizations in the history of the National Football League. They don't have an owner. Now that you could say owner because he actually owns the team. They don't have an owner. So they've been a rudderless ship here for the last few years too. There's just a lot of bad organizations. The Texans are another one. My God, is that thing ever going to get right? And now they're stuck with Deshaun Watson. They're trying to trade him. And it'll be fascinating, A, if he is traded, and B, what are they going to get for him? But that is enough of what we got going on here outside of real DFS talk. So we're just going to go that way. Again, RPS NBA 15% off the life of your subscription. Rubio's doing NBA content. Glock's doing NBA content. Title, when he gets back, doing NBA content. So we got all that. You get the NFL content too. You get all our premium shows, like the one I just hosted with Mangone. And we'll be doing the cash show tomorrow as well, or Thursday when you're listening to this. So check that out. But guys, let's get into it. Let's get into this, another shorter slate. The bye weeks are here. We got about 3 games that are set up to be monster offensive explosions. We're going to try and find out which the other 1 or 2 will be. But we'll go game by game here, or do you want to go? What do we usually do? Position by position, Rubio? I do so many damn shows. What do we do? Position by position?
Yeah, let's keep it with the position.
All right, good. So let's go there. And Kyler Murray, a lot of us stayed off him last week. Wish I didn't. He went bananas. Mahomes at Tennessee, looking juicy. Brady's in the discussion. Rodgers against that Washington football team. Lamar Jackson, Matt Stafford, Hurts, Tannehill. There's legit, and who knows who you're going to bring up down low. I got 8 legit options that I'm going to have to try and decide in my pool this week, Rubio.
Yeah, no kidding. And, as much as I want to play like a guy like Kyler, it's also a 17.5 point spread. So I think I'm going to rule out Kyler. I might even rule out Mahomes just because we have so much talent in the 7K, 6K region. Like, you look at Lamar, as much as like the Ravens scored last week, they scored 34 points. And Lamar only had 13 fantasy points. That easily could have been flipped where he scored 33 fantasy points. So I just think like you start there, you can kind of build from Lamar down. As much as I love Mahomes, I played Mahomes last week and stuff, and the upside's there. You can get just as much upside at a little bit of a discount with stackable options like Lamar. Like you said, Tannehill's in a great spot. The Kansas City team is absolutely awful. I liked Tannehill coming into the Buffalo game, and that passing game was absolutely awful, at least in the first 3 quarters. So, I mean, it wasn't the greatest thing to see, but hopefully more people saw that. I mean, Tennessee's expecting to score points. Those 3 touchdowns from Derrick Henry, like we always say, could have easily varied toward Tannehill. And it could have been an A.J. Brown catch. It could have been a Firkser catch. Or, hell, it could have even been Julio, who I was on. The biggest thing there, 6.4, Chiefs defense is awful. You have the running Jalen Hurts, who's been just a top, 15 quarterback literally every week, or even top 10. Just the fact of the matter is, like, he's rushing almost double digits every game, and the yards are there. Last guy I just want to bring up, I know I'm kind of like rapid firing here, but you have Stafford getting to go against his old team and Goff getting to go against his old team. I think that's a sneaky game where I think we could definitely see a 55 to 60 spot just because that Detroit defense cannot stop a damn no one. The Bengals went out and just absolutely whooped some ass. I think if the Rams even pick up the tempo even a little bit, we could easily see that game kind of being a little bit, maybe it's like a 42-21 game or something. I just can see the Rams just putting on points after points.
Well, Goff got called out. Don't forget that week 1, he had almost 28 DK points against San Francisco, then 20 against Green Bay, and he's just been garbage ever since.
So
what
bad.
would it take for you to consider him at 5K on DK?
Wouldn't take much to consider him. I know those receivers are god awful, but 5K for a team that's probably going to be throwing the ball 50 times. Oh my. It's hard to say no to 50 times. What did he attempt last week against the Bengals in that slow pace? 42 attempts. I know he only got 9 DK, but just throw a couple touchdowns in there. Maybe some of those.
They were behind, like, I think 2 possessions.
Yeah, exactly. And I think this could happen again. I really do. I think this could be another game where they're chasing.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
for
Clock,
sure.
your turn, buddy. Let's go. What are we doing at quarterback? Actually, who's in the pool early this week? And before you get into that, want to Jared Goff? Can I offer you something? Will you take it?
I don't think so. I'm not going to go there. I mean, the Raiders defense is, not Raiders, the Rams defense is pretty good. And, Goff has just looked so terrible since week 1. So I don't think I want to go there. If anything, for sure, the Stafford side, because, he's kind of in the same situation as last week, just going to beat up on a really bad team. And, they're just chucking the ball. So Cooper Kupp's playing amazing. Yeah, I love Stafford a lot. Lamar, I just don't know. Like, I'm not a big fan of Lamar personally. I don't think he can throw that well personally.
Your personal
That's just my
opinion
take.
is
That's just my take.
Glaucoma.
I faded him last week and it worked out well. Obviously,
but the guy is like leading in air yards, completed air yards. The guy is actually accurate downfield. It's not his fault. Marquise Brown has hands of stone.
Yeah, I get it. But, it looks like right now he's going to be the highest owned quarterback. So, as a tournament player, I always want to pivot off and try to find a player that, has similar ceiling. And, since week 1, basically I've committed to the bit and I've been trying to make Mahomes double stacks work because if you remember week 1, Mahomes and Kelsey and Tyreek, they went off. So yeah, Mahomes and Stafford are kind of like my two favorite higher owned QB plays. And then a sneaky play, I think that isn't going to go that low owned is Aaron Rodgers against the Washington defense. I think like Washington has just been an easy target, for every team. Like Matt Ryan looked like a god against them. Even Mahomes looked terrible, but still put up a ton of points last week on them. Looking at Rodgers right now, like sub 5% owned, I feel like, obviously Devontae Adams is going to be a kind of a chalkier option like he always is, but, pair him with Rodgers and, you have your little skinny stack right there. And then, bring back with, anyone decent from the Washington side. I think that could be a low owned stack for sure. So yeah, that would be my quarterback pool. Yeah.
For now.
Yeah.
For now. God, what an awful take on Lamar Jackson, though. So Tua is interesting to me, boys. Did I just shit on it at the top of the show? Last week, that Jacksonville defense is not good. The Atlanta defense is not good. He ran for 22 yards. He threw the ball 47 times. That's my big question here, Rubio. Is he going to be able to throw enough to pay off? 5.5 on DraftKings. Like I'd take Tua over Goff at 5. Is he in the pool?
Tua's 5.5. I mean, here's the thing. I don't think those 22 yards rushing are anything indicative to come. I think that he's a guy who wants to be a pocket passer, and naturally he just is a pocket passer, and that hip is what made of what now? Robotic repair? I don't even know. The same thing, though. They were trailing that game against Jacksonville. They were chasing a little bit, and then they kind of went to the passing game in the first half, and it was nice to see. But I just don't think that's Miami's identity. I think they want to be a team that uses a running back by committee, 3 guys who just bash the ball and, kind of slow the game down completely, where you're not going to see much of an explosion in the offense. And I don't think they want to throwing the ball 47 times a game. And that's clear by the talks with Deshaun Watson that they want to bring in. They don't trust him. And I think they want to kind of grind games to a slower pace and win by running the ball and win by playing good defense. And I just don't trust it. I'd rather have, some other shitcoin quarterback to take a risk on.
How are you? I had a good conversation, man, going about this. Where do you guys stand on the non-running quarterbacks in tournaments? Because he was like, it's fine. Matt Ryan is fine. If they're going to get you 25 to 30 points on an explosion. Glock, do you roster many non-mobile quarterbacks at this point? You talked about Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't run anymore, right?
Yeah, so I think site-specific, like on DK, it's easier to get away with just a passing quarterback just because of the point system. But on FanDuel, those rushing quarterbacks can just break away so easily because touchdowns just mean so much on FanDuel. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's site specific. Like on DK, I'm kind of more, you could play both, but especially on FanDuel specifically, I try to make it an emphasis that I'm playing rushing dual threat quarterbacks on FanDuel for sure.
What do you think, Rubio?
I'm with you. I'm exactly with Glock here. It's just the fact of the matter is it's tough to really get there. On DraftKings, like Glock said, it's easier for the quarterbacks to kind of pair with, a PPR of receivers, right? Exactly. The more passes they throw, the more points receivers get. You're not just getting a half point like you are on FanDuel. That being said, Tom Brady and Joe Burrow each got there 2 weeks ago. Tom Brady obviously went off and berserk, but Burrow, even by getting 20, was still definitely in the mix of, being potentially in a shipper. So I definitely get it, but I still kind of want to lean running quarterbacks, or at least quarterbacks with touchdown equity on the ground. And I think, we see it with Mahomes. How many rushing touchdowns has he had this year? Just one. And he's actually running a lot this year. Holy cow. That's not something I expected. Yeah. So you can even throw in Mahomes as a mobile quarterback that, and
I always considered him one. Even if he was getting
very talented.
15 yards, I still considered him that,
Yeah. And that's just the thing is I think, you don't want to pick just a statue, but I'd rather have the running quarterback over a pocket passer for sure.
Yeah, Mahomes is always in play.
Yeah,
I mean, people don't play him because the price tag. But I tell you, every week on FanDuel, I have a Mahomes, Kelsey, Hill lineup, and I think it's gone off twice already. So
it should have gone off last week, but man, they just kept getting hurt and
Damian Williams too.
One or the other kept sitting out.
Williams, fuck Williams.
He was a good play too. I liked playing him last week. We can move on.
He was
to
great
the
leverage.
Position
great
here.
leverage, yeah.
Susie might be dropping by, so if Susie drops in, we'll stop everything for her. If she doesn't, she said she'll be in next week. So that'll be fine too. All right, let's go on to running back then. Glock, you could start this one off. We just talked about Damian Williams, but the big question is, do we got to roll with Henry, or do you just take the risk and hope that he doesn't go off for more than like 25 points? He's 11K on FanDuel this week and 9-2 on DraftKings.
Yeah, I mean, the hard part about playing Henry is, I guess, if you actually wanted to stack up that game, Kansas City and Tennessee, like the pieces are just so expensive. And I'm not really sure like many people would actually stack that game because they are so expensive together. And so I think Henry would be more of like a standalone play, and, who knows how crazy the ownership could get. But let me just look at the numbers really quick. He doesn't project to be the highest owned, but, I assume it's because of his price. And right now it's DeAndre Swift, and wow, he's only 6K, which is, I think that was down from last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or was
DeAndre Swift was like 6'2" last week, I feel
6'2",
like.
6'3", yeah.
Yeah. It's right there.
Yeah, he might be really chalky because, he'll be in that LA Raiders game, or LA Rams. I keep saying Raiders.
He'll be the run back, right?
Yeah, like he'd be really popular, catching all the dump offs, trailing from behind. But yeah, I mean, Darrell Williams looks like another strong play again this week. He's only 5,800. If they, the Chiefs seem like they want to run it more often this year than not. So, we saw that last week. So yeah. And then another play I like also is I always like Joe Mixon, and then Chuba Hubbard, nice bounce back game. He kind of played decent last week, but I like him going against a really bad New York Giants team as well. So
Chuba Hubbard. We make a Chuba there, RubioDimes.
I like Henry, of course. The fact of the matter is, here's another, if my aunt had a ball, she'd be my uncle's statement. But outside of one run.
What if she was like, no, I have balls, but I am still a woman?
Then I'll accept her or him or they how they should be. All right.
Is that how you say it these days? Is it they?
Use they.
Because I see people saying he, him, her, she, her, and shit, and I'm like, I know what you are. I can fucking see your picture.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Just, you youngsters, stop it with this. I could tell. Okay, please go on though. I had to stop this broadcast for that.
If Derrick Henry doesn't run a 76-yard touchdown into the fucking end zone, my Monday is perfectly fine, or my Sunday night is perfectly fine. It was a fucking Monday. It was Monday night. God damn it. But anyway, I just think, those 3 touchdowns, and he's still got 38. I'm willing to fade. If he gets another hat trick of touchdowns, he can basically, I'll name my kids after him. I don't give a shit.
Well, yeah. Did you knock up your girlfrend?
No, hold up now. Chill now. No. I don't make.
You have kids, Glockoma? How many kids you got?
Yeah. No kids.
Oh, are you going to have kids?
Yeah, eventually.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Wait. I would say mid-30s. That way you can still bang your wife and enjoy it. Because once you have kids, there's like a period of time where it's just not going to happen. You're just dead tired all the time. You're not even going to want it, and it's a miserable part of your existence. Anyways, Rubio, were you saying something?
Yeah. I was talking about, I'm basically just going to fade Henry, and we talked about this on the previous shows too. We have been playing mid-tier running backs all season. We are not spending up for running backs, and that trend's going to continue into this week. As Glock said, we have Swift in the mid-tier region. We have Joe Mixon, who gets a ton of the snaps. We have Cordero Patterson, who's fresh off a 21 touches game. In the 6K region. We have Josh Jacobs going against a Philadelphia Eagles team that couldn't stop me if I played running back. And now we have a great news. Susie joining us here.
Susie! Hi, Susie! She's on mute.
We should probably stall for a second.
Yeah, we should stall. I mean, not only do I get to meet Glockoma on Zoom in the first time, now I get to meet Susie for the first time. Susie, can you hear us? Just give us a thumbs up if you can. Yeah, we can't hear you. You're on mute. No big deal. Why don't you just sit there and just sit there, and that's it. We'll just talk to you and say hi to you. It's wonderful to see you, Susie, by the way. Connecting audio. It says that right now. All right, try it again, Suze. You're on mute. Ask to unmute. There you go. Huh?
Microsoft Teams person.
Hi, Susie. What's up? Good to have you on the program.
What's up?
I'm very excited. We invited you on the program, because I wanted to prove Title wrong that you were better at fantasy football at DFS than you was, and you proved that in the in the big contest that we had. And B, you actually know football, so I figure we might as well get you on to talk a little bit. Thank you very much for the time. What's going on?
Good. Just finished working.
Yeah.
Getting ready. I'm gonna go watch the Astros game, but I have it on. I have my Astros shirt
you're a
on.
big Astros fan. Yeah, because you're out there. Did the game start?
It just did, but my husband's
All right,
still
listen.
working.
So you only need to hop on for like 2 minutes, and then I'm going to make you come on next week for title because you need to shame that son of a bitch. But wonderful to see you, Susie. Is the tennis still going on? Are you doing the tennis content still, or did tennis take a break?
Yeah, it's gonna go on till for sure till the end of November. I think maybe a week in December, and then it'll restart in January. So
When
I
do
could
you
really
start-
probably get like 3 weeks off.
Yeah. When do you start looking at the NFL? When do you start breaking that down?
Sunday.
Sunday morning. And you finished 5th and you started Sunday? Please give me the secret so I don't sit here and grind all week and I can just wake up Sunday.
I don't have time. I mean, I get off work and I do my tennis. I go to the gym. I come back home and I go to sleep.
You play hoops or baseball?
Honestly, what happened?
You play hoops or baseball?
Do I like on DFS?
DFS, yeah, not in real life.
Basketball, yes. Baseball sometimes, not every day. I'll
All
play
right, so-
basketball every day.
Oh, you're grinding basketball. Okay. So you'll be watching the Astros and grinding tonight. Is that what it is? Just putting your lineups together in the NBA.
Yeah, I'll look when I get off this, probably on the car ride to go watch the game. I'll look. But yeah, I haven't looked yet.
This is amazing. Who runs better than Susie, Rubio? I mean, 10 minutes before a slate, looks at the stuff, throws in a lineup, wins. I thought title ramp here. This girl runs.
But
more
she's
good
the
than-
head-to-head queen. I'll tell you that. She'll
Is she?
challenge anyone to a head-to-head. She's not afraid of anything. I've seen it, especially in soccer contests. It's just out of the blue.
Oh.
I'm telling you, it's high stakes too, no doubt.
You play soccer?
Oh yeah, today was great.
Why do you do that? Why? This is disgusting. All this soccer talk on this show it makes me absolutely ill. 100% ill. Well, listen, I'm just glad you dropped in for a minute. You got a lot going on. So
No, I'm good. I have time right now.
But
So
you didn't look at the
Sunday.
NFL slate. We're going to talk NFL slate.
I'll take a look.
All right, you take a look.
Yes, sir.
And while you're taking a look, start at wide receiver, okay? See, this
All
is
right.
what's impressive. Rubio, I'm sitting here like 8 hours a day digging into NFL stuff. She looks at it for 5 minutes and she's better than me. And honestly, it bothers me a little bit.
I mean, you're either born with the skill or you're not, Holden. It's true. You take a little bit of time. You watching Big T work on Sunday night, you realize like procrastination is a real thing. Some people can get it done ASAP, and some people wait until they get it done, and some people can't get it done at all. I think me and you kind of fall in that area where we can't find a groove right now. Like I just looked at soccer, I'm in cashed everywhere, but that's not good enough here at RPS. We got to win.
I can't find a groove, but I will say that it's pretty impressive. You could just roll up to your computer, look at this, and now she's going to give us wide receiver winners. Glock, how about you? Are you one of these people that just opens up the tab at RPS and puts stuff together? Or are you just sitting there like some measly peasant like myself?
No, I mean, I think sometimes that's like the best way to do it. Like, you don't give yourself time to, overthink things and swap out of the nuts. And, the more you have your lineup set, like the more time you have to think about it. Oh, and then, more time goes throughout the week, especially in NFL, like, a play that you thought was chalky, becomes not chalky, and then you pivot off. So sometimes like that's the best way to do it. And to be honest, like some of my best hits in NBA were like days where I was like completely busy. And then, I get like 1 hour left to jam in my optimizer stuff and hit optimize. And then, then I'm just busy for the night. And then I come back and I have a big hit. So yeah, I mean, I'm more of like a day before, like I like looking at NFL like on Saturday and then, digging throughout the day on that day. But, especially NBA, if I'm not doing like the playbook or something, then yeah, I wait till like at least a little bit hours before to look into it because, especially NBA, everything's so dynamic. So yeah.
All right, let's roll through the wide receivers. I got 15 minutes and then I got to start doing a final countdown. Rubio's texting his picnic friend. So Rubio,
I'm looking at JD McKissick, damn it. I want to mention
I told
JD.
you to play him last week. Did you play him?
That's the thing. In my run back, it didn't work like that. I did 4 wideouts.
At 3.1%. I was surprised he was that highly
Great
owned.
play. And if you think the football team goes down quite a bit, which I mean obviously will probably happen against the backers, I like McKissick. And Gibson missed practice today. I wouldn't be surprised if he's optimal at 5K.
Ooh. What else do you like this week? Are we going back to Devontae? Because you're going to have to make a decision, Devontae or Derrick Henry in all likelihood.
My decision is probably Devontae, but I think it kind of goes to why not neither. I know the whole meme where it's like, well, why not both? But the Green Bay, they got up early. Chicago's a decent defense. They're not the worst defense in the world, but he didn't really do a ton. And I think he's fadeable at 9K, and I think Derrick Henry's fadeable at 9 too. And you can create a more balanced build. You don't really need them both, or even need one or the other. Cooper Kupp and Tyreek Hill have just as much upside, and they can correlate with your builds a little better. Let's say if you play a Tannehill, if you play a Mahomes. So, I mean, I think I'm probably going to be avoiding the stud range just in its entirety unless I spend down and get a surprise spend down, which I'd lean Devontae over Henry. But if I had to pinpoint, receiver that I kind of wanted to dig into just a tad just before I let Susie and Glock take over here, I just want to mention, I think Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp this week, I kind of mentioned earlier that I think the Rams put up a ton of points. That Woods only got 5 targets last week. One of those was a score. I think McVay really wants to make it a point that they want to get him the ball. And I think that ends up being the case here. Another double-digit target week, as we saw a couple weeks ago, and he could be a guy who pops off for 30 like he did. And I'm a big fan of this week.
Glock, what are you doing with Devontae Adams here?
Yeah, I mean, I like Aaron Rodgers. I like that little game stack because I like attacking Washington. I mean, if you look at their last games, they've given up 31 points, 32, 33 points, 34 points, 43 points, 30 points. And, I mean, their defense is horrible. So I think this is setting up to be like a Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams eruption spot at low ownership. So, yeah, the more we're talking about it, the more I like the Packers. He is going to be the most owned wide receiver, it looks like right now. So, yeah, I mean, still, I think pairing him with Rodgers might make you a little different. And, instead of having him as that standalone expensive wide receiver, that's how you can get different. But, another cheap play, Chris Godwin's only 5,900. That seems really low for, the ceiling that he can have. And yeah, I mean, again, I'll be on Tyreek Hill for sure. I'm going to make the Kansas City double stack work. I'm committed to the bit. So yeah, those are, I think, Green Bay, Kansas City, and, especially obviously the Rams wide receivers are good as well. And then the Tampa Bay ones as well.
Susie, you've had 5 minutes to dig in.
I got
Give
you.
us the winners. Give us the winners.
Besides Adams, I do like Adams, but I will definitely have Hopkins versus Houston.
Ooh.
I'm just a revenge. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? The
They
girl
should put
sits
up
down. It takes her 2 seconds, and I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. Holy shit, he is going back to Houston. Susie, you already
Another
earned
thing,
your money. You're getting
and
nothing
then
from us, but
cheap for a value, I'm gonna go to that game, and I need to look a little bit more. But Nico Collins is really cheap, and he came back and he had quite a bit of targets, and they're gonna be behind. They're gonna have to be throwing, so he's pretty cheap.
can I ask you something about your process? Like, what did you do? Did you just look at everything and say, okay, this kind of stands out? Did you just start with Hopkins and say, okay, he's going to play his old team this week? How'd you come up with that?
I don't know, I just open and I look, and the first thing I see is Hopkins versus Houston. I mean, I don't know. I don't put much research when I do it. I enjoy building. Like, it's fun. So I don't know. It's an obvious play, I think. I mean, if I could fit him and Adams, I will. But if I want to get off the Adams chalk, I'll go to Hopkins easily.
Getting some breaking news here. Tua no longer on the depth chart on the Dolphins official website.
Because we're getting Deshaun Watson.
What do you think about that?
I love
believe
it.
You love it?
Are
And I
you a
love-
Miami's fan? Are you a Miami fan, Susie? Or
Let me tell you why I love it. I'm diehard Miami, born, raised in Miami. I unfortunately live in Houston. I would do anything to go back to Miami, but my husband is a diehard Houston fan, and his school used to have Derrick King, and the Hurricanes got Derrick King. The Texans have Watson, and now the Dolphins have Watson. So, I just like to talk crap with him. But no, I'm really happy that we're getting Deshaun Watson because we have a really good team, and Tua is not it.
So
he's
Susie's
not gonna
locking it
play,
in.
right? Like,
He's
you're gonna
locking
give
it
up
in.
first-round picks for somebody that's.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see what we pick up, what we give up. I'm a little worried on that, but
I
whatever.
mean, let's say they give up 2 first-round picks, but no Deshaun Watson this year because he's under investigation for sexual assault. Is that a good deal?
Yeah, I mean, I'll take him. Yeah, we'll have him next year. Listen, he's gonna
Love
get
it.
cleared.
Love it.
I don't think
Conviction
Miami's
there.
the best spot for him to go to
Yeah?
with his
Miami?
late backs.
Get Devontae Parker healthy. Jalen Waddle's going to be a stud. They got some plays there. I like that. All right, let's go through tight end. Let's go through tight end. Susie obviously wants a little Deshaun Watson in Miami, but Rubio. Speaking of the Dolphins, like Gesicki has been unstoppable. I love me some Gesicki. Kelsey still underpriced at 7.6. Mark Andrews tied with Kelsey for most yards among tight ends. Actually, I think he's had more points. I'm waiting for the Waller breakout again. I think that's coming soon. Goddard is back off of COVID. That's going to be a big one. Ricky Seals-Jones at Green Bay for Washington. Always tons of options here at tight end. And boy, from top to bottom, I like a lot of them.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty stout position. And like when you mentioned Gesicki, you could make the case that Brissett at 4.6 instead of Tua at 5.5, where you're saving nearly a grand in salary. It could be something that's viable. Like you mentioned earlier, Atlanta's not the best defense. I still don't think that pace will be incredibly high, but for 4.6, that could definitely pay off some tags and could be a cute little under 10K quarterback tight end stack. Looking at the tight end spot, I'm a huge fan of Ertz moving forward. I think that the Cardinals will use him a lot. Maybe this isn't the week to kind of pounce. You never want to be late on a guy, but you don't want to ever be too early. So I'm still going to be tracking Ertz quite a bit. I might pull the trigger. I'm going to be looking to spend down, though. The reason being is if I do spend up for Adams, if I don't, I'll probably go up to Kelsey. It's just one of the two for me. I think it'll either be Adams or Kelsey. But I think there's so many good tight ends. The spending down at tight end build has usually worked in the past. It's tough to really pinpoint early in the week without knowing the status of some of these guys. Like, let's say, hypothetically, Gronk misses again. You can make the case for O.J. Howard at 3.4. Ferkser at 3.1 could definitely get some red zone looks. That's all I'm hunting there. I'm not really hunting for a big floor for my cheap tight end. I just want a red zone target or two. And it's tough. As much as I want to spend up, it's just more feasible for me to spend up, stay in the mid tier that I want to for the other positions and have the kind of slate come to me in that aspect.
Okay. What about you, Mr. Glock? What do you got here at tight end?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like another week where Kelsey's the highest owned tight end, but, he hasn't been able to get there recently. And like I said, I'm committed to the Tyreek Hill double stack bit, so I'll probably have a good amount of Kels. I love Ricky Seals-Jones because he's a part of that Green Bay stack. And so, if I play Rodgers, Devontae, run it back with Ricky Seals, kind of like last week, how there was Mahomes, Kels, Tyreek, and then Ricky Seals. Still too cheap at 3,700 for playing what does he sit out one snap out of the whole game or something like that? He plays literally all the snaps. So yeah, I think he's a great play. If Gronk is back, I think Rubio mentioned if he is back, he's a great play. Obviously Brady loves him. And at 4,800, I don't think a lot of people will play him. So yeah, I mean, another, if you want to go way lower, I guess a sneaky target would be Cole Kmet at 3K, running it back with the Tampa Bay game. Last week he had 5 targets, and it seemed like Fields is starting to, be able to target his tight ends more. So yeah, he's definitely, he has some upside at 3K, and in a game where they're trailing expectedly, I think he's a great run back in the Tampa Bay stacks.
Susie, Jordan just went deep, just so you know.
I didn't see me like this. That's fine. Yeah. I just saw that.
That's what you did? All right, listen, I just built a lineup with Kyler and Hopkins, and I like it. And it's interesting because, you know what, Glock, Cole Kmet kind of popped here. Interesting. Who am I playing at tight end this week, Susie? Because I'm doing a Kyler to Hopkins. Give me a tight end.
You might as well, if you have a Kyler and Hopkins, might as well throw Ertz in that and just put a little Arizona stack.
Ooh, Rubio. She's taking it and just shoving it up your ass with Ertz today. She's like, go for it.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of it. Definitely. If you're going to go, Arizona, hope they put up, 5 touchdowns through the air. It's easily viable against a bad Houston team. I like it a lot.
All right. Good to hear. So that's it, Susie. That's what you got for us?
I like Gesicki too for Miami. Probably have some of him also. If I pay up, I don't know, Waller's gotten cheaper.
He's gonna blow up again. It's gonna happen.
He is.
I know Gruden's not there, but at some point in time, they're just gonna force feed the guy again because that's what
I
works.
think he's in a good spot versus Philly for some reason. I think he'll do good.
Okay.
Like Waller.
All right, that's it. Glock, Rubio, I don't care what you said. Susie just gave us the winners. Unfortunately, it took 35 minutes for her to get in here to give it to us. And by the way, she was working. I want to say thank you for showing up, Susie. Rubio, you've been replaced. Next week, it'll be Susie and Title. And maybe Glockoma will stop by. Oh, no, Rubio's eating the chip next week, so we got to let him back on the show.
Yeah, at least one more week. Then I'll
At
be
least-
in the bottom of a grade.
All right, we'll keep you
We're good
around,
there.
too. You're a good kid. Susie, thanks for hanging out. Go watch the Astros, all right?
Alrighty.
Go enjoy
Thanks
the
for having me.
Deshaun Watson trade, which might be happening. Glock, great debut. Appreciate it, pal.
No problem.
And Rubio, of course, Rubio holding the dog that only a woman could have bought
I see
and
ya.
made him walk, because I will not walk a dog less than 35 pounds. Bye, Susie. That is disgusting, Rubio. You inherited that dog, right?
No, I bought him.
Get the fuck out of here. You did
His
not.
name's Rubio.
Why didn't you rescue him? If you're gonna rescue something that ugly, you might as well. If you're
Oh
gonna buy
my
something that ugly,
God.
You might as well
You think-
rescue him.
Like I gave him a hair. He got a
It's a
haircut. I
rat.
didn't give it to him.
Yeah. No, I like dogs, but geez, that thing. Thanks, Glock. Thanks, Rubio. RPS NBA 15% off the life of your subscription here at Run Pure Sports. Simon, get us out of here.